Hey there, welcome to my channel, Davina, a teacher for teachers. My goal is that this channel is going to provide help and guidance to all new teachers out there. And to new teachers, I want to say thank you for joining our profession. You are about to embark on a wonderful journey. And mind you, there will be days when you just want to throw in a towel and quit, but I'm hoping that with the help of this channel and with your support network out there, that you're going to stay in for the long run and stay in this profession. My personal philosophy is that 90% of being a successful teacher is having great classroom management. That's right, classroom management. I'm going to share with you 5 tips on having solid, clear, and consistent classroom management. Tip number 1, establish a tone of confidence and assertiveness. Whether you're 4'10" or 6'10", confidence and assertiveness is all. Once you step in that classroom, you are in charge of all those students in there and everything else that happens in the classroom. Treat the classroom as if it is your home. You are the pack leader. You are the head of the household. You set the tone of that classroom. And mind you, you need to be fair and firm. Once you've established this, and I really mean this with your confidence, and I know as a new teacher, you're going to be nervous, you're going to be anxious. You cannot let the students know that because they're looking at you for directions, they're looking for you for assistance, they're looking to you for leadership, and you have to set that tone and feed that off. They need to know that. If you are nervous, if you are scared, students will smell that, they'll know that. The best way I can really explain that is that students are very intuitive. Mind you, this will be your first time in front of students and you will be nervous, but this is not their first time in front of a teacher. Tip number 2, establish shared classroom expectations. In a certain area of your room, whether it's the front or the back, have a meeting area with all your students. Invite them now to share the expectations of their classrooms. In other words, the rules. Once they share their expectation, note it down on the chart paper. You can write our classroom expectations on top, list the expectations, and have the students sign those expectations as a class. Once they have fixed their names to that chart, to those expectations, it creates a sense of buy-in. They took part of establishing the house rules. And students love that because that is establishing a bond with them. It's also establishing back to my tip, or I should say connecting back to my first tip of setting a tone. These are our expectations, especially as the teacher, these are your expectations. So having that feeling of we're all in this together goes a long way. Instead of you as the teacher standing there saying, well, this is my rule, no go. It's a community event. It should be a community feel, or I should say a family feel, and that's why you should have those shared expectations. Tip number 3, make sure routines are established and posted. And when I mean a routine, it can be the do now once they enter your classroom. Unpack your belongings, take out your homework, or please hand in your homework on my desk, or have a certain area for things to be turned in from notes from home. That's the routine. Also, make sure you have your schedule posted, especially for our elementary students, and also if you have middle school students that will be switching multiple times a day. This is key. They need to know where they're going and what time it's happening, because you will have multiple hands go up. What time is lunch? What time is gym? When are we doing reading? So if you have an open area on your board, just take some, you can do strips, sentence strips that they can erase very quickly. You could change it each day. Use some masking tape, get those strips up there, and note the routine or the schedule of the day. And this will help those students that are very anxious, and you will have those students, they need to know what's approaching. They cannot be surprised. This can also help students with organizational issues that need to prepare for the next subject. They need to know what to pack for, especially if they're switching and transitioning between classes. And also for students that have auditory processing issues, Again, auditory issues, so they're not clearly hearing the instruction, but visually, once they see it, they have it. So make sure you have a schedule and your routines posted. And also, again, I stress having the routines up there because it will become succinct with your students. Once they enter the room, they know what to do. They're not asking you a million questions. They have a routine. Tip number 4, be prepared. Make sure you are taking the time to plan for every teaching period. That's right. It is key that you have properly, and I stress properly, prepared for each teaching period that the students are in front of you. There's going to be times where everything is just hitting at you at once, but take the time every day. If you have 10 minutes or if you're one of those teachers that need to take it home to do, take the time to plan. It sets the pace of your day. It sets your mindset. You cannot go in that classroom, open up the textbook and wing it. You need to know what you're teaching, how long it's going to take you to teach that, and you know what, you may have differentiated groups going on. You may have students with accommodations. You need to properly plan to make sure you cover all bases. There are some times though, and it has happened to me, where I'm transitioning from a subject area. I cannot find the textbook that I need or the handout that I need, and there's some downtime in that classroom. And this happens a lot. And this goes back again to my first point of creating a tone of confidence and assertiveness. If you're kind of hustling in the classroom looking for something and you can't find it, don't get nervous. I'm going to say it again, don't get nervous. This is where multitasking serves teachers very well. What you do, if you're looking for the handout or the textbook and you can't find it, while you're looking for it, engage your students. This is part of being prepared. Engage your students. Ask them, if you're transitioning to math, you know, the line I always use is that, I'm getting old, I forget things. Can someone remind me what you worked on last year, you know, in 5th grade math? Everyone's hands is going to shoot up because they want to share. Or if not, get some problems on the board, whether you're doing a multiplication review, a division review, set some problems up on a smartboard or chalkboard. Have the students come up, you know, let them, while they're working, you're looking for the paperwork or the textbook that you need to jump into your lesson. And I say this because once there is some downtime or there's a lull, you're going to have your 1 or 2 students, and I call them the undercurrents, that are going to start to talk, that may want to get up and walk around, and they know, they're like, hey, this is dead time, we're using it, we're jumping on it. So you need to be prepared. And in the event that you're not prepared, or you were prepared and just what you're looking for is not in front of you, use that time as a filler to engage the students, and that will help you. Tip number 5, seating arrangements. If you have 20-something students, I would suggest grouping them into groups of 4 students or 5 students. And actually, after you have those clusters set up, you can label those groups as group number 1, group number 2, and that will allow you really the freedom to move around very easily in your classroom. Just you don't have to go in between rows; they'll just be in their own sections. And if you're sitting in for a guided reading group, you can just pull your chair right up to that group and work with them, and then move over to the next group. I like this seating arrangement because it allows the students to really build peer relationships. They bond with each other. They become a very cohesive unit. For those teachers that are teaching lower elementary students, I would also assign the role of a table captain, because students love to, regardless of age, students love to assume a leadership role. So your table captain can be your go-to person that you need in the classroom, and make sure you rotate that role. So seating arrangements are very important, and allows you, after maybe a few weeks, to see who your talkers are, who your movers are, and if you need to maybe do any switching, you can do it very easy, because you just ask them to just move their chair, move their desk, and just make a switch. So seating arrangements is probably a very important factor in establishing your classroom management. Well, I hope all these tips are helpful. I hope that you find something that you can use and hopefully make it better. And please leave comments. I'd love to hear feedback, and look out for more videos. Thank you so much. This is Davina for Davina, a Teacher for Teachers.